Shalom. I want to begin the lesson off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Harakakwadash. Double blessings and honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai. Back here with another lesson through the Spirit. I'm going to be talking about an article that the brother sent me today. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, so I'll be reading it right here live in this lesson, and as well as pulling out the precepts and testing the spirit. And I'll just say this: I like to do my lessons like this when I'm doing the articles and stuff like that. Try and pull out the precepts and scriptures. It's a good way to test the spirit as well as keeping yourself sharp, because you have to think about it, man. People ask you questions and whatnot about the scriptures or about what you believe in, or current events and stuff like that. You have to be able to tie it to the scriptures on your, like, you know what I'm saying? You have to be quick on your feet. You're not going to have time to always look into your notes or write down, you know what I'm saying, scriptures. You just got to go with what comes to your head and be able to tie it to the scriptures, man. So that's why I like to do these things. It's like the elder Apostle Tahar said, spiritual training bag. So I'm going to read this. Lord willing, I could pull some scriptures out concerning it. And amen. Lord willing, the lesson is edifying to those out there listening and watching. The whole elect, the 1/3, as well as the 144,000 prophets. So without further ado, let's get into it. So it reads, Usaid or Usaid, foreign aid comes from U.S. farms. Now 450 million of food is left to rot. And this is an opinion. So I just want to say this. Number one, the inflation on these eggs is outrageous, man. I was at the store yesterday trying to buy groceries. $10, $11 for a pack of 12 eggs? Man, the times we're in, it's getting there, man. It's getting there. We're we've been in inflation for some years now. And we know that hyperinflation is around the corner. But man, $30 for a pack of 60 eggs. It's getting crazy out here. Now, of course, you still have it really depends on the brand, but a lot of these eggs are overpriced to begin with. I remember when this wasn't even 10 years ago. You could get a carton of eggs for $1, $2. You remember them days? Now, on average, it's about $5 to $6. So, the plagues are affecting the food, and you know it speaks on the scriptures, man. Like I said, every time I go into Publix, they don't have eggs. Let me do this real quick. They don't have eggs. So, just wanted to say that. Let me get this. U.S. Agency for International Development employees who showed up Monday at their headquarters in Washington, D.C. were turned away because the Trump administration canceled U.S. aid's lease. And we know that Elon Musk was in support of ending this U.S. aid. This is less than a month after the president signed an executive order ceasing all foreign aid, setting off a cascade of suffering as millions of people worldwide are cut off from life-saving work. What most Americans don't realize is that when USAID doors were shuttered, businesses across America also lost valuable income, and thousands of American citizens lost their own livelihoods. As a leader of the agency's Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance for 3 years, I am no stranger to the vital impact that the USAID has on the lives of people around the world. But I am also no stranger to the vital impact that USAID has on the lives of Americans. So ultimately, man, they're coming with these decrees, and all of these things are just to usher in a new world order, one world government. Like as it reads in Proverbs 29:2. When the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. When the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. Roughly paraphrase. USA sources food aid directly from farmers, American farmers. When USA provides food aid to people in need, we source 41% of that food directly from American farmers. Approximately 2 billion in food aid purchased from American farms in states across the country. Everything from wheat from Kansas, soybean oil from Iowa, to peanut products from Georgia. And that soybean oil is not good for you. Soy in general is not good for you. Now these American grown products are at risk of being wasted. More than 500,000 tons of American food commodities valued at over $400 million are stuck, grown by farmers in the country's heartland. This food includes corn and cornmeal, lentils, pinto beans, sorghum, vegetable oil, and yellow split peas. The food has been purchased, but in the cruelty and chaos of the closure of USAID, those responsible for getting the food to the most needy are not getting paid, putting both the world's poorest and American farms at risk. While some life-saving food programs have received waivers in the past week, U.S. government funds remain unavailable. In one instance, almost $200 million in emergency food aid bound for South Sudan, where 729,000 children under 5 suffer from severe acute malnutrition, is sitting undelivered in ports in Kenya. And like I said, Sudan has been suffering from famine for a long time. This might be an apocrypha. Famines and great mournings. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, right? So this place is gonna end up suffering from famine, right? As is spoken of in Genesis, the 37th chapter, which I'll get this after that. We're seeing the famines. We're seeing great mournings, like it said in that article, and great sorrows. It's impacting the lives of Americans, setting off a cascade of suffering as millions of people worldwide are cut off from life-saving work, right? People suffering from malnutrition, famine, lack of bread, and great death. Man, I'm seeing all types of mass casualties again in the news. Buses plunging off of cliffs in the ditches and stuff. All types of stuff, man. Let me see. Damn. Hundreds of enslaved women found being injected with hormones in human egg form. You see these people, man? 2 children, 56 adults deceased from flu-related illness as virus continues to spread. 56 people deleted in a bus plunged off a bridge. What I say? Mass casualties. Yeah, man. The Lord is sending these plagues upon earth. 4 people deleted in a Philippine plane crash. Which all of these damn plane crashes, you got to think how are these just starting the number of these just starting to rise and stuff. They trying to make y'all scared to travel and whatnot, man. That shit is another psyop. We see through your shit, Esau. Woe is me. This is 17. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars. Hey, they saying if them people in Gaza don't leave, they don't release them hostages, they're withdrawing from that ceasefire. And that can lead to all hell breaking loose on your ass, Esau. Russia just invaded the capital of Kyiv, and they saying they not in no ways trying to negotiate, right? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of sorrows, the beginning of wars, and a power shall stand in fear. Powers shall stand in fear, man. These leaders are about to start getting scared once this shit gets out of their control. Because ultimately, how Shah is going to rain down on them when they try to make their bellies full. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So through all of this, they're getting punished for their iniquity, and they're gonna continue to do it, not knowing this is the reason why these things are coming upon you. And even if they do know, they're still too proud. They don't think that that their system or their empire is gonna come to an end. So lucky for all this damn yawning. So like this might not be in Genesis. This is the 37th chapter. Let me see. I was talking about when Joseph interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh. And he said, 7 years you shall be prosperous. 7 years you shall suffer from famine. But you know why? Because it was famine in the land of Canaan. Oh, verse 41. I could have sworn I highlighted this shit. Salakita. From my excuse my French, so to speak. There it is. Let me see. I'm gonna get this. And Pharaoh said, this is 41-17, Genesis 41-17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of a river. Behold, there came out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in the meadow. I believe a kine is like is a baby calf. Yeah, a cow or heifer. Fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. Behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. So the other ones were really fat and well-fed. The other ones were very skinny. You could see their ribs. They was sickly looking. And the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known what they had eaten them, known that they had eaten them, but they were ill-favored. And at the beginning, so I awoke. So let me read down. Verse 26. The seven good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one, because he was dreaming about corn as well. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine, right? This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What the Most High Power is about to do, he sheweth unto Pharaoh. Right, so I'm not going to read that whole story, but just to summarize, Joseph interpreted those dreams through the blessing of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah. And the 7 years, that they were gonna have that were good, because they knew that they were gonna have 7 years of famine. What did they do? They stocked up all the food they had and locked it away and put it in the city. And they tried to save all that food. And the Lord told them, all this food y'all gonna save up, it's not gonna help y'all. Y'all still gonna suffer from famine. And they thought that they would be all right. This famine has affected all these other areas around us, these other countries, but it won't affect us. We're too smart. That's America, spiritual Egypt. They think that all the things that's going on in the earth right now around them is not going to affect them because they're the Babylon, the virgin daughter of Babylon that's never been touched by shit. And once that famine came, that food lasted for a bit. And then guess what happened? They still suffered from the famine. So no matter how much they try and outrun prophecy, it's still going to catch up to your ass. Nobody can outrun prophecy. Nobody can change it. You can't stop it. All right? 2 Ezra 16:1. So no matter how much America's going to stop these plagues from coming, they're still going to hunt them. And they're going to suffer from them. Right? And that also, I'm going to get this. Later, after I read a little more. I didn't even mean to put 36. I meant to put 35. 34. humanitarian partners, private contractors in the United States are now on furlough. Let me see what that word means. Suspension or discharge of a worker. Okay. They come from all walks of life, and there are some. Let's see, on top of this, Usaid works directly with humanitarian partners and private contracting companies based in the United States. These companies collectively employ thousands of American workers, many of whom have been furloughed with no knowledge of where their next paycheck will come from. They come from all walks of life, and they are some of the most dedicated and patriotic Americans I've ever known. Woe to those who go down to Egypt for help. These men and women are are doctors and nurses, social workers, and wildland firefighters, logisticians, and agronomicists. About 12% are military veterans who at USAID found a way to continue public service when they left the military. No matter their role, these folks share a simple mission. They came to work every day to help people and to save lives. Tributaries. They did this in challenging circumstances far away from home on behalf of the American people. They worked around the clock, often deploying with less than 24 hours notice to some of the most difficult and dangerous environments in the world, including war zones. During my time leading the Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance, and indeed for decades before I came to USAID, Republicans and Democrats in Congress continuously supported USAID on a bipartisan basis. People in both parties agreed that providing aid to communities in their moments of greatest need is the right thing to do, and a smart thing as well, because it makes us safer, healthier, and more prosperous here at home. Matthew 6:31, I want to get this, and I'm going to go to another precept. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. So that's more so talking about when we get into shit hitting the fan, Jacob's trouble. But even then, those are the thoughts that dominate the heathens or non-believers. What are we going to eat in that time? What are we going to drink in that time? When famine hits, we're not going to have to worry about that, man. If you have your full faith and your trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's going to provide a way. This is Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, Esau Edom, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not God, and their horse is flesh, and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. For thus hath Yahweh spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, He will not be afraid of their voice, nor base himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. As birds flying, so will Yahweh of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. Turn ye unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. So you're going to have people in these latter days looking to America, looking to the government for help, not realizing the government does not give two craps about you, man. They just canceled a whole aid program, and the result of that was $450 million worth of food being stuck. But they still get to eat, though, right? Does not affect them like it affects the poor or these other countries who are suffering from famine. Y'all gonna learn to put y'all trust Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The entire USA website has gone dark. Our partner staff, yep. When USA teams responded to Ebola in Congo and Uganda, they helped contain the disease's spread, protecting Americans too. When USA teams responded to biblical flooding in Pakistan, they created the goodwill that reopened diplomatic channels critical to national security. I was proud to do this work that saved millions of lives and showed the goodness of the American people, and work that united people across the aisle. USA efforts were celebrated on both sides because they not only showed the world our compassion, but also projected our power, improving our national security, advancing stability, and opening markets for American businesses in the process. Now these patriotic Americans and their partners are sidelined and maligned. In a workplace of 13,000, only about 300 have been told they will keep their jobs. Of those, only a few dozen remain who specialize in life-saving humanitarian assistance. The entire USA website has gone dark. Our partner staff in crisis zones around the world are not getting paid, including for work that they have already done. But you're supposed to get your daily bread. You're supposed to get paid at the end of the day, not at the end of the week, not bi-weekly, not every month, at the end of the day. So like I just lost where I was at. Getting paid, yep. And conspiracy theories about the work of the agency boosted by our adversaries threaten the safety of them and their families. The dedicated public servants of USA serve throughout different administrations, and they know that elections have consequences. They know that the new presidents, there will be new approaches. Like I said, the new decrees. And indeed, there are opportunities to make the work more efficient. There are lawful ways to realign priorities and even downsize. But this shocking awe raised Earth strategy to eliminate U.S. aid without the input of the people's representatives in Congress is not it. So I do want to get this and close.
Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth. 2 Ezra 16:21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even they then shall evils grow upon earth, sore famine and great confusion. So let's get with that word, victuals. Damn. Food or provisions. So it's gonna come a time where food gonna become cheap and people gonna think everything is returned back to normal. And then these things are gonna come and attack the earth. Sore famine and great confusion. People gonna be confused. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. They thought everything was going back to normal. Then boom, right? When they shall say peace and safety. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? And those storehouses are going to fall empty, man, more and more. So just remember that, Jake. So I'm going to close it off there. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Kakodash. Double blessing and honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, once again, who taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to those out there listening and watching. And until next time, I say Shalom Israel. Shalom.